myself. I'm not going to want to pull this apart because it's so, here we go. All right, I'm going to unseam it here because I want you to see that there's a hinge point and it can hinge. So it can create movement. So you can make balls that expand. You can make all kinds of things. But at its heart, it's a construction toy. And what I love is you can just buy a box of Lux Blocks and set them in front of your kids and see them take off. Now, a couple of things are going to happen. Creativity is going to be sparked like crazy, but also there is a certain amount of fine motor that has to happen to snap the blocks together. And we have seen video after video after video of kiddos on the spectrum where parents have said, yeah, I think that's going to be more complicated for my child because they don't have good fine motor in their hands. And we see kids that they get it. And they will work through, there's a little bit of like, oh, okay, I have to put some effort into this, but they will work through that obstacle to be able to get to the reinforcer of it snapping together, which means that their hands get stronger, that as a result, they're able to open water bottles, that as a result, they're able to do more handwriting and more fine motor things with their hands. So we love it for that, but we're also igniting things in the brain about problem solving and creating things that can change the world. So I love that you can just get a box of them, but I love that they have a series that are now kits that you can make different things. Now, this particular kit that we gave the award to this year is called the Steam Inventor, and this is the Rainbow Edition. And it's made so that you can build, and I've got part of it built here. I want you to see. It's so cool. This is the rainbow one. Now, when we're completely done, there's a crank over here, and when the crank turns, it will eventually make this wheel move, and my windmill will actually turn through a series of gears and a rubber band. Fascinating, right? But you could take this, you put the whole kit together, and whoo, this is fabulous, right? And they make everything. They make dinosaurs, all kinds of things. Go and check them out on their website. But I can also take this apart and I can make anything my heart desires with the pieces. And I used to keep a dish of these Lux Blocks on my desk. Back before COVID, when everybody was in the office and people were regularly at my desk, I kept a dish of them. And when people would come in for a meeting, I would slide the dish closer to them and I would watch what would happen. And people would and they would go, what are these? And I would show them and they'd go, oh. And then we would continue having our meeting and talk, but I would always look to see what they made. And everybody made something different. It was just a fascinating way to connect with somebody, to see what they made. So Lux Blocks, just love them. They're also an incredibly generous company that has always donated toys for us to give to kids. So we thank them so much, and kids love them. So you just can't beat it, you guys. Lux Blocks, always an award winner in our catalogs. Okay, moving on. I don't want to make a mess here. What's next? Oh, the Aqua Sword. Okay. We talk a lot on the show about crossing the midline, how important it is to cross the midline, that it's good for cognition. Well, playing tennis is one way that you could do that, but these Aqua Swords are a way to do that. So I've got it this way. So this comes to us from Splash Jam, and I just love it. Easy put together. I was able to put this together in under 3 seconds. And what you see is a sword. There is a thing, I just had to slide this piece on, but there is a tube running through here that when I pump this, in the handle, I would pour water in here, and then you put the cap back on. And there is this pump, and when I pump the pump, it sends water through a tube into this foam sword. Wonderful. And then I start to play. And if I have a friend who's got one too, then what do we do with swords? You have to cross the midline. Ah, it just is fabulous. And when we hit swords, water splashes everywhere. It's hilarious. It's a wonderful, fun toy for outdoor fun. Obviously, you're not going to do this in the living room. unless you have plastic covered furniture. But super duper fun and rewarding. It's super soft, so nobody's going to get hurt. You could even be bonked in the head and you're not going to be hurt. And the water makes it fun. And I love that I have some control over how much splash I want, right? But more than anything, I love crossing the midline, to be able, we know research shows that when you cross the midline on a regular basis, it helps build connection in your brain, helps with cognition. That they've done tons of tests where they've tested kids before doing a cross the midline activity and afterwards, and they perform better on tests and all kinds of things. So when we're trying to help our kids to learn, crossing the midline, fabulous. And if you can do it super fun with water and a sword fight, why wouldn't you? So Aqua Swords, motor winner in our school category, obviously brilliant. Love it. Thank you, Splash Jam. Okay, what's next, Chris? Oh, yes. Okay, so from Discovery Toys, we have V-Block, and I should have made myself a place where I could set this up, but you know. So what I love about Discovery Toys, sorry, I'm going to try not to make so much noise with the mic. What I love about Discovery Toys, I mean, one of the things I love about them is that they always have a toy guide that comes with every toy, and it's chock full of information for parents, and it always gives you examples of what you can do with this toy. So here's, I think if I move, I'm going to move Cross Spin for a minute. We'll come back to you, Cross Spin. And I'm going to move my Lux Blocks over. So what this is a series of blocks. Oh, there's all my plastic sounds. Sorry, Chris. I get these black bases and I set them down, and I've got these V-shaped blocks of all different sizes and colors, and I have to balance them, and it takes a little bit of finesse in the beginning. I balance them in my, no, I might have it upside down. In my bases, there we go. And once I balance one, now I can do whatever I want. And I can build all of the shapes in the booklet, or I can decide to do whatever my heart desires. And I can add other bottom pieces. There's a little bit of balance that is involved in this, but it's about creativity. And I can decide to go the other way if I want to. And I can build these geometric shapes. Now, there's no end to what I can build. So this, we gave this our best arts and crafts toy for school-aged kids, because you could do this with them and say, you know, I'm going to make a sculpture, you make a sculpture, or you can say, let's make this sculpture together and pick one of the, you know, crazy things that they have in here that wouldn't even occur to me. I don't have a brain that thinks conceptually like this, but you know what? My son does. And I would have loved to have given this to him when he was a kid and say, show me what you can make. Really fun, easy cleanup, right? You're not cleaning up paint and foam and all the other things when you're done. So super, super fun. Again, it's called V-Blocks. And it's called a construction toy, but we gave it the arts and craft toy because it is an art toy. It says fun stacking for everyone, balancing art is what it's called. And you could leave your sculptures for people to see, or, you know, you can take them back down and save them for another rainy day and create something. I can just picture your kiddos playing with this with their grandparents and having a really good time. So super fun. Thank you, Discover Toys. Chris, what's next? Oh, okay, we're going to get into some of our books. We're moving into our tween and teen category now. And I got to get this out of the bottom. But this was a book that was sent to me by Simon & Schuster this year. And all the books that we feature on the show, I have the same thing to say about them. It stayed with me. This is an amazing book, All the Noise at Once by DeAndre Davis. And powerful, powerful book, you guys. I want to say that I think it's an important book for tweens and teens to read, but I want to give the asterisk with it that this is the kind of book you read with your tween or teen. This is not a book to just let them read and let them process on their own. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the book. I will tell you that there, from page one, it's not a spoiler alert, they talk about, it's this many days before the event. There's something that happens. And when we get into the actual event, the description of the sensory feelings that our main character has is, I think, the best thing that I've ever read to describe what it feels like when something traumatizing is happening to a person on the spectrum. But it's intense. But I think it's important to read with your kiddo. There's a big theme throughout the book about justice and how things don't always go how we think they're going to go. For a lot of our kids on the spectrum, they have a very heightened sense of justice that, things, what's fair, this is what should happen. And it's very disturbing to them when things in the world happen in front of them that aren't fair. And this book tackles that. That's a really tough subject. So I really encourage you to be reading it with your tween or teen. Help them to deal with the feelings that they have during the book. But I think it's important to have that conversation, and it's a great jump starter. Beautifully written, very important book. I'm going to read J. Cole's the author of Tyler Johnson Was Here and Things We Couldn't Say, says equal parts witty and heartbreaking. All the noise at once serves as a window into the Black autistic experience and as a beacon of hope for those our justice system has forgotten and failed. Easily one of the best books I've read all year. I agree. So I think it's important. But again, I wouldn't leave them to read it on their own because it's going to spark some stuff that needs to be talked about very realistically. Okay, so from Simon & Schuster, All the Noise at Once. Fabulous read. All right, what's next? Oh, Aaron's. Crazy Aaron's Thinking Putty. This one, our best sensory toy in the tween teen category. I love Aaron's Thinking Putty. But I say this all the time. Putty is personal. What you like and how you like it, it's very, very personal to your sensory experience. But they have so many things to choose from. We really loved this. I have to tell you, I showed this to Rachel Bird and she really loved this. My favorite thing of opening a can of Aaron's, I took this out and was doing stuff with it last night, and then you put it back in the tin, and over time it just smooths back out, looks brand new. And my favorite thing is taking it out. Because if you make a hole and then pull it out, it usually comes out all in one. I don't know. There's something very satisfying about that. So this one is called the Better Butter. And the whole point of this one is that it feels like butter. It smells like butter. It's crazy how much it smells like butter and feels like butter. It's a very loose putty, and it's a little slippery like butter would be. And it smells like butter. It's the craziest thing, you guys. It's super duper soft. And again, putty is personal. And Rachel Bird was like, oh, yeah, no, this is my putty. It's soft. There's something that happens when you play with thinking putty. And I love that they call it the thinking putty because your brain, the part of your brain that's busy with all the stuff that's not important, just goes zoomp. And the part of your brain that needs to heal and be centered in order to think goes, hello, I'm here. So that's what thinking putty does, and that's what the right thinking putty does. This one it's just very specific. It's just soft and gooey and smells like butter, feels like butter. And you feel like your hands are going to be oily when you're done, but they're not. It's the craziest thing. Very enjoyable. So a great sensory experience. And if you watch the show, I like stretching it and putting it back together because then when you squeeze it, it makes little popping, crackling sounds because the air comes out of it. It's very satisfying for me. And so I'm going to put this blurb back in the tin, and by later on this afternoon, it'll be back being totally flat and have made itself the size of the tin. Crazy Errands, so good. This is the Better Butter Thinking Putty, but I encourage you, try one of them. Try one of them for yourself. Try one for your kiddos. They're fabulous, but it's personal. Okay, what's next? Oh, fabulous. The Gemstone Advent Calendar. This comes to us from Blue Marble, their division of National Geographic toys. I guarantee you somebody out there has a rock lover in their life, and if you don't, this is still a great toy for somebody to spark that kind of energy, and maybe they'll become a rock lover. So this is an advent calendar, probably something you'd want to get relatively soon, although, I say the rules just don't apply. You don't have to use this from December 1st to December 20th. You could use it from December 10th if you wanted to. But basically, well-made box showing us what we got going on. And then you open it up. Got the little Velcro thing. And there are boxes here that are not in order, which I also love. And when it's the day that you want to do it, you pop it's perforated, you pop it, and there is a rock inside every single day. And they show you here all the possible rocks. So if I were doing this with a teen or a tween, I would be like, which rock do you hope it is today? Let's have a guessing game. Which one do you think it's going to be? And build suspense about, which one do you think is your favorite based on what, I definitely want to see the Turconate. I want to, is that today? Is that the one? And then they can learn a little bit when it comes out. Then they have to identify which one it is, and they can learn a little bit about it. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, I'll tell you something about advent calendars, because they're out and they're popular everywhere right now, and everything under the sun right now. You can get a Lego advent calendar. My goodness, you can go to Trader Joe's and get a chocolate one, right? There's everything under the sun. And what I love about advent calendars is that there is a little treat every day. So in the autism world, for our kiddos, we're trying to make their world fair. We're trying to give them all kinds of motivation to do things that might be a little bit hard for them. And what these are, it's a series of tiny reinforcers. So, like people go, oh, well, it's past December. I don't want to buy an advent calendar when they're all on sale and different. Get all the advent calendars, and you can institute one in January and one in February and one in March. And maybe it's a thing, whatever you're working on. If we're working on really good teeth brushing, then every day it's like, oh, you brush your teeth really well. It's time to get your daily toothbrushing treat, right? So many different ways you can use an advent calendar because it's a treat, whatever it is, whether it's a rock. And I would love this. I have to say, I think rocks are cool. So, really lovely. National Geographic. The company is Blue Marble. We just love them. Love this gift. All right, Chris, what's next? Oh, yeah. Marvel, the Crystal 3D puzzle. And they have a whole line of these. This one, Best Puzzle Award in our in our teen tween category. And I don't know if you've ever done a crystal puzzle before, but they're a different kind of puzzle. Now, I started putting this together, and you can see there's the base, and I've started to put Spider-Man's legs together, but I want you to see what he looks like when he's done. And it makes this lovely little statue of Spider-Man crouching on this crystal block that somebody can keep it put together, and it's a keepsake, or they can take it apart and do it again over and over and over again. They're a little bit harder than a regular puzzle because sometimes you have to twist the pieces to go together and then they snap together. It's not an easy puzzle, I have to say, and it's a different way of thinking because you're building something in 3D, not in 2D. So I love the way it ignites different problem solving. It can be worked on solo or worked on together, but we love these crystal puzzles. They're tiny little treats. And so this is it's a Marvel, and it's from Bepuzzled but I think that's a division of University Games, if I'm not mistaken. But love them. 3D puzzles, crystal puzzles. Check it out in the toy guide so that you can order them. And they have all of the Marvel guys. And this isn't the only Spider-Man. If you don't want the crouching Spider-Man, there are other Spider-Mans. So super duper cool. Teens love these, as do I. Okay, what's next, Chris? In the Teen Tween category, the next up is the Educational Toy Award winner, and this is the rotating maze cube. I guess I don't have the box, but I have the actual cube here. So this comes to us from Discovery Toys. You know, I love them. And what this is, it's a fascinating little toy. First of all, our teens and tween judges loved it. They just thought it was really cool and groovy. I don't think that was the word that they used, but the sharp, I think, was the word that they used because it's black and white. I don't know why, that just really appealed to them. And it also has like these different configurations on it, and it's very interesting. So anyway, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube in that you can turn it very specific ways, and you know, all kinds of things like that. So now I've created a new maze by doing that, and it has a block that has a red circle on it, and it says initial point. And you're given these steel little balls. And so obviously you would not want to do this with a little kid. That would be a choking hazard. But you drop the steel ball into the initial point, and the whole point of this is to turn the cube to create a maze that allows you to extract the ball out of the terminal point. So once I put it in the maze, once I put it in the initial point, then I've got to move my little cube around, and it can be very fussy, and sometimes it won't let the ball in. So then you got to try another one. I'm going to keep trying, and ooh, that one might, oh, it worked. Okay, so now my ball has gone another place. Now I got to figure out, which way do I want to move? I think I want to go this way. Oh gosh, that was exciting, and it just went another direction, right? And so now my ball is on the move. I don't even know where it's gone now. I got to find it. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, so I got to keep trying to move the ball. Oh, it's very close to the extraction point now, but the thing isn't going the right way. Oh my goodness. Okay, and I just keep moving it until I can finally get it to the extraction point. So hours of fun, very interesting. Don't want to go that way. That way won't work. Oh, maybe? No, still don't have it. So keep trying until I can get it to the extraction point. Really, really fun. Our teens super loved this. Of course, they were way better at it than I am. They were just, got it, you know, and then they would pass it to the next person, and it became a social thing. So love this from Discovery Toys. It's the rotating maze cube. Very much a fun toy, hours of enjoyment. And that kind of concentration where, again, that busy part of your brain kind of calms down and the other part of your brain expands. It's a really good thing. Okay, what's next? All right, in our STEAM toy category winner in the tween teen, we have the Nano Clicks. So this is a fun thing that is a Belgian block, building block, and I love that it's all made from recycling. I'm gonna sneeze, and I know my Kleenex is all the way over there. I don't want to sneeze on the toys. Sorry. We're live, and I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, so these are tinier blocks, and they go together in a very specific way, and it takes a little bit of a hand-eye coordination, but they also crimp together and can turn a little bit. All kinds of things can be created from this. This box is just chock full, and you can see on the sides all the different things that you can make with this. So many different things. It comes with wheels. I love that you can make the tree, the dinosaur. I'm trying to move it so that the light doesn't shine on it. But it's another building toy, but a smaller, more precise. That's why we put it in the teen twin category, because it's not for little kids. So that's Nano Clicks. Check that out. What's next, Chris? Oh, Organ Attack. I have to say, I think this is one of my favorite things in the whole toy guide this year. And I know this year we put two new categories in. One of them was Shannon's favorite, and one of them was Dr. Doreen's favorite. And I want you to know this was really in contention for one of my favorite toys, because I love a good vicious game. Hope you understand what I mean by that. I think that they're like having, for instance, Millborn. I don't know if you know that card game, but it's a card game where you're trying, it's a card game, but you're trying to drive 1,000 miles. And part of the card game is that there are four cards that you can lay on your friend or family member's drive that cause them problems, like a flat tire and all kinds of things. And it's a French card game, and my family loves to play it because we will say, oh, c'est dommage, crève, and play the flat tire on friends. And it's mean and vicious, but in the nicest possible way, right? And this game kind of reminds me of that, but in a more specific thing. So it's easy to play, and I guarantee you we will be playing this at my house throughout the holidays. So you get a pack of cards that are organ cards. And what I love is that each one of them lists an organ. Like this one says thyroid. And on it, it tells you a little bit about the thyroid. Located in your neck, the thyroid produces the hormone that regulates metabolic rate, affecting pretty much every organ. Sometimes that power can go to its head, which is, the little cutesy things. Okay, so you deal all these out, however many people are playing, you deal out the whole deck of cards. Look, there's bowels, there's skeletal muscles. So we're learning about our organs as we're going, but you get a set of organs, and you take your organs and you lay them out in front of you. Everybody can see your organs. But then everybody gets dealt a certain number, depending on how many people are playing, of attack cards. And these you keep to yourself. You don't let people see that you have attack cards. So, and the attack cards are in a variety of different things, but you can play them on other people's organs. I told you there's a little bit of a mean streak in this, but you know what? That mean streak, I think if take it in the right way, it's so much fun. But some of the cards are good too. It's not all mean. Like some of them, you have an immunity boost that you can play on one of your organs to make it so that it's impervious to things that people are playing on your things. But for instance, here's one that if somebody has the appendix, you can rupture their appendix. And it tells you what that is. It says, a buildup of infected pus causes the appendix to burst. Extremely painful and equally gross. Bye-bye appendix, right? And if you play this, then their appendix card is gone. Their appendix has to be removed, and it removes from play. And so the last person with organs is the person who wins the whole game. Here's botched surgery. And it can affect any organ. They come with all the instructions. So it's really fun in a really cutesy way. I don't know, maybe my family is just vicious. We were playing Monopoly when I was visiting my niece's house, and oh my gosh, we're so vicious. But we laugh so hard. It's just so much fun. So I love this. I also love how well made this is. I like to talk sometimes about the boxes, right? University Games takes real great care with how they box things. I just want to take a second to say it's one of these kinds of boxes. So this is not going to be trash in 3 weeks, even though you're going to play this game a lot. The side of the box lifts up and it opens up so that it's this great presentation box, and your cards come in a card holder. Love it. So super nice. University Games, I really love them. This is ages 8 and up for 2 to 4 players. But I think you could play in teams with more people. We probably will over Thanksgiving. It's my new obsession. I was holding it upside down. Organ Attack. I really, really love it from University Games. It says trust no one. It says the Awkward Yeti presents, but it's from University Games. A family-friendly game of organ harvesting. Okay, there we have it. All right, what's next? Okay, we're getting into the puppets. In the tween category, For the speech builder, you know, I've been talking about the puppets. I love the puppets. Folk Manus makes these amazing puppets. So this is our wise owl puppet from Folk Manus, and he is so soft. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I love his eyebrows. He's got these funky eyebrows that stick up, and he looks a little sleepy, but there's so much expression. There are lots of places where you can put your hands. I can put my fingers into the beak, and he can move his beak and talk and say wise owl things. There we go. So he can do that, but also there are places that I can put my fingers in his cheeks so that I can make movement happen in his cheeks, and I can make movement happen in his eyebrows. And I love that about a Folk Manus puppet, because if you're into that kind of thing, you can make all kinds of things happen for this puppet. That he can be curious, he can be shocked, he can be all kinds of things. So why do I love a puppet for building speech? I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating, that when you want a child to be speaking, you want to create an environment in which you're encouraging that kind of behavior. And a lot of times when we're trying to work on speech, it's so overwhelming for them. But there's something magical about putting on a puppet. And if you give the puppet a voice, and I don't know, for him, we would do well, I'm a wise owl, right? Then all of a sudden the child is like, wait a minute, what's happening here? We've got there, and for teens and tweens, you know, they're a little bit older and a little bit more jaded, but they recognize it and go, I want to play. So you start by modeling it, always with the puppet, and then the magic comes when you take it off your hand and you give it to them and watch them play with it and see what comes out of their mouth. And I have seen kids that are, you know, minimal talkers become chatterboxes when you put a puppet on their hand. So super love this guy. You're such a sweetheart. And I love his eyebrows more than anything else. Thank you to Folk Manus. Great speech builder. Okay. We're going to talk more about them when we get to the adults. What else do we have in the teen category? Oh, okay. Symmetrix. Let me get that. It's on the floor. And this is also from Discovery Toys. So this is what our therapists fell in love with this toy. This is from Discovery Toys. So again, fabulous booklet that tells me how I might utilize this toy. And I think that's a great jump start. It shows me exactly the kinds of things that I can be doing. But let me just show you really briefly. This comes with a series of different pieces. I have my baseboard here. And I've got these mirror pieces. I've got one that will cover half of the board. Oh, it's showing all kinds of things. And here's one that's a quarter of the board. So I can put just the half in, and I've got little slots that I can stick the mirror piece in. And later, if I want to put the quarter piece in, I can too. But then I've got these cards, and the cards are all labeled with different things, like they have numbers on them. But I want to show you, okay, so on this one, and they're double-sided. On this one, on one side, I don't know what that is. Is that an eggplant? And the other one, it's grapes. So I'm going to put it into the thing, and I might have a conversation with my tween saying, what is that? Oh, it's a flower. That's what it is. So once I put it into my thing, oh, I have to see. So if I turn it one way, and I've got the sheen from the, I can see both of them, right? But if I turn it the other way, do you see, see the grapes? And that's all I see because it's mirroring it. And then if I turn it the other way, let's see if I can get it where you see the flower. It's, I don't know if you can see it. See the flower? It's upside down. See the flower? Okay, so that's fascinating. Now, why is that fascinating? Because we can start to talk about perspective taking. So when we're teaching perspective taking, and perspective taking is understanding that what I see, what I feel, what I hear, what I think is not the same as what you see, hear, feel, think, experience. And it's an important important skill for everyone. I think everyone needs their perspective taking skills. I hate it when we just talk about how, well, people on the spectrum need to work on perspective taking. Yeah, everybody needs to work on perspective taking, because not everybody understands. Oh, you feel that way? That's not necessarily the way I feel, right? Ooh, could we use that in life? So we start with sensory, looking at what can you see? Well, I'm sitting on this side, so I'm seeing one shape. You're sitting on this side, seeing another shape, and then we flip and say, what was I seeing? What, and then have them walk around and look. That's one of the things we've been doing for years to help individuals learn perspective taking. And now this toy just made it artfully easier. But it does so much more than that. I can put in the quarter block, and now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Okay, so see how that looks? And if I turn, it's going to create different shapes. I think you're seeing it. And I can make like a kaleidoscope with this and create a million different things. So that's fascinating. But wait, there's more. There are some that come that are blank. So I can draw something on half of it with my markers, and then I can put it in and see what else I can create. So it's a creative toy tool. It's just endless, the things that you can do with this. I super love all the possibilities. Let me show you the box. It's called Symmetrix, and it's subtitled Mirror Magic, and it comes to us from Discovery Toys. They make great toys, and our behavior technicians, we call it the Therapist Award, but now they're called behavior technicians. They just loved this for all the things that they could, all the magic that they could create, and all the things that they could be working on that were helpful skills with the kids that they're helping. They just loved it. So Symmetrix, Discovery Toys, it's in the toy guide. Check it out. What's next, Chris? Oh, Crossspin, which we moved earlier. Okay, so this is super fun. And now we're in the adult, which I love. So this is a board game, and it won the adult card board game. And this is for the person in your life that loves like Scrabble and crosswords and things like that. So it comes, nice box, you know, that matters to me. And they come with a bunch of these handy dandy little spiral notepads. And for however many people are playing, each one gets a notepad. And you open it up, and you decide on a color or a number that you guys want to use. So maybe you start with easy, with the blue. And everybody turns their booklet to blue, so everybody's on the same page, and everybody has these dry erase markers that come with it. And then there are cards. And so whoever's going to go first, and there's a timer. I'll get the timer out so you guys can see. And then I'm going to put the top back on the box so that we have a playing surface. Yes, I've done this before. And by the way, this is for ages 8 and up, 2 to 6 players. So I've got my little timer, and when it's my turn, lots of different ways you can play, but there are cards that will say, for instance, words that, oh, well, I did that one before. Let me do, because when I did the other demo. There are some that you can fill in the blank. This one says something that is, and I could fill it in and say something that's blue. Okay, so that's the parameter for the thing, and we decide if we're all playing together or if it's just one of us playing at a time, whichever we prefer, because, you know, I like to make up the rules. This is more fun, right? But okay, this one requires me to come up with 3 words. And for instance, if I wanted all 3 words to be blue, I would start and try to fill something in with what is, I can't think of anything that's blue right now. Why on earth would I say that? But I need a 4-letter word that starts with blue. And I'm going to say fish because I can't think of anything else, right? And then now I've got a word that I need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-letter word, but I'm stuck with S as the second word, and it's got to start with blue. And I go, crap, that's going to be hard, and the time is running out. So I can erase that if I decided that's too hard, and I can spin my board. What? And now I've got a different configuration here. And I could go a different way. So if I put fish in again, now the S is going to be the second to the last, which is going to be easier. I just lost the cap to my pen. It's going to be easier. And so the boards get progressively harder And this really is for the people in, in your family that love crossword, because they will just go gazonga over this. So much fun and so many possibilities, because if you get in a jam, you spin. Now, I love that because so often our kids, they're so good at what they're good at, right? But then they'll get to a point and they're like, and they get stuck. And this game helps them to learn, think of it a different way, spin the board, look at it differently. That is a great life skill. So this is called Cross Spin. Again, it's ages 8 up for 2 to 6 players. It estimates that it takes about 30 minutes to play a game, and it comes to us from Joe Pat Games. Just really loved this, and I know somebody in my life that would just lose their mind over this. So I super loved that, and we all did. All right, so that's Cross Spin. What's next, Chris? We're running out of time. Oops, I'm knocking over my V-Box. Okay, the El Castillo Pyramid. This comes to us from our fabulous friends at Project Genius. Gosh, how much do I love them. They have the most fascinating line of toys. And I also want to say they support the autism community by hiring individuals on the spectrum. You got to love that. So this is an amazing math puzzle. It's a wooden puzzle, well made. I've got one that's unpackaged here, but it's a math puzzle and a coding puzzle all at once. This is probably like the kind of thing that would hurt my head, but okay, so on the back of the box, but also on the bottom of the pyramid, there's a code. Each one of the blocks has the code on it. So the first thing you got to know is the code. And then you have the task of having each side, you can turn it like a Rubik's Cube, but you have to make it so that each side totals a very specific number. This is based on the actual El Castillo Pyramid, and it is a mind-bending, really cool boy, if you've got somebody who loves numbers and loves coding, and it's just a fabulous, fabulous puzzle. Truly magical, and, figuring it out. I'm not a math genius, so like I said, this would kind of hurt my head, but I would also love to solve it and figure it out. It's kind of like Sudoku on steroids in a really fun, wooden, well-made puzzle. So thank you, Project Genius. This one, our adult best puzzle. Love it. Okay, what's next, Chris? Oh, yeah. In our book category for adults, you guys, this book, really, truly, the highest compliment I ever give anything, whether it's a movie or a book or a TV series or a painting or whatever, is to say that it stayed with me and it's living in my heart. And this book lives in my heart. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy that a friend reached out to me and said, Shannon, can I connect you? We have a friend who wrote this book. And I really feel very strongly about this book. It's written by Howard Mark Chesley. It's just incredible. 22-year-old young man named Marcus Katz. It goes through a series of events after his mom dies, and she had a plan for him when she died. She had a plan, and she knew what was going to happen, and his life was going to be okay, but it kind of goes sideways, and it becomes an adventure that Marcus goes on trying to find his way to be in the world. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful book. And here's the fun thing, it's told all through Yelp reviews. It's such an easy read, you guys. I so highly recommend this to everyone. It made my heart sing. There were times when I was reading it, and I think I'm reading it for like the 4th time. There were times when I would stand up when I was reading, because it was so powerful. So free Marcus Katz. Obviously, best book in the adult category. You will love it. I guarantee it. Free Marcus Katz. So it's available in the toy guide. Chris, what's next? Okay. Also from Project Genius. I love these little, they won our sensory toy winner in the adult category, they make these keychains that are little fidget puzzles. And they come in all different, like there's a pyramid, there's a ball, there's a cube of balls, and they're all like Rubik's cubes that you have to turn them and you can create different colors. They go on your keychain and they twist and you're never without a fidget toy. This is what I want to say. And I said before how much I love Project Genius. I don't know if you guys watched, you should have. We had her on the show. The PBS special show that they had this last year called Patience. And the lead of it, every single episode, she's on the spectrum, and every single episode she's solving a mystery, but she's also solving a puzzle. And one of the puzzles that she was solving in one of the episodes was a Project Genius cube that we had featured in our toy guide. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. They make amazing puzzles. So I love that these attach to your keychain. They're super small. They're the perfect stocking stuffer. And you put it on, the adult puts it on their keychain, so they're never without it. It also helps you to find your keychain in the bottom of your bag, right? So absolutely love Project Genius. These are called Inverse Keychain Puzzles. Love them, but check out their whole line of fidgets. My goodness, they're the best. Okay, what's next? All right. In the adult category, our speech builder is another puppet. This is the Shoebill stage puppet, and he is worthy of being on stage. Look at this guy. He is just fascinating. I'd never heard of a shoebill bird before, but then these puppets came, and I don't know if you can tell, but the eyes are so real. I feel like I'm sitting here with a real bird. Now, this one comes with something special. His mouth is very articulate and he can have all kinds of conversations, but he also can just clack if that is what I want. There's a little castanet that's in him that if I just move my fingers in a certain way, he clacks, or I can fail to clack that and he can have conversations. He is super soft. And just, I can't believe how much they look. Now I've looked up Shoebill, and this is what they look like. Love that he's got some fringe around the bottom. He's a long puppet. I just think that adults would find this amazing. Super cute. Love the clack. Love the puppet. And again, language builder for all the reasons that we've talked about why puppets are amazing. And it's not just for kids. Adults love puppets. I'm an adult. I love puppets. Obviously, I am not on the spectrum, but I have yet to meet a person that doesn't love a puppet. Anyway, so try them out. Okay, our next one. Thank you, Chris. So we discovered these this year, and we've been obsessed with them. We're in the Caregiver Awards now, and we could have put this in any category. It's called a morph worm. And it... I don't know, it defies description. It's so much fun. I can squeeze it and make it be like this, or I can pull it and make it long like this. I can do all kinds of things with it. And it's just so pleasurable. We literally became obsessed with these. They come in different sizes and they come in different colors. I'm showing you the rainbow large one, but here is a rainbow worm that is smaller. And but they do come in solid colors as well, but I really like the rainbow, and they glint when you move them different ways. This was another favorite of Rachel Bird's. I'm just going to say that when she was here for judging. But we decided that this belonged in the caregiver category because it's kind of the perfect thing for a parent to just have in their purse or their backpack, because it's great for you. Let's say that you're sitting there and you are waiting in the carpool line, and your brain is just going a million miles a minute, and you can take this out and take a couple of minutes and play with it and do all kinds of things with it and never be bored. Again, quieting that part of your brain and expanding the other part of your brain that's healthier. But, you're waiting in the carpool, you're playing with it. Now your child gets in the car and you hand it to your child. And now they get to play with it as you're pulling out and driving towards home. Super love it. Morph from Human Go. I love it. So fascinating, you guys. It's just never ending. And if you turn it, I always think about, Temple Grandin always talked about how she liked to turn her bed plate, because if you turned it at a certain speed, the light would shine through it and it would make it different. Same thing with this. Every way you turn it, it's like the light hits it in a different way. And I like making it go slow or making it go fast. It's pretty fabulous. That's a morph. Get them. They're truly wonderful. Okay, what next? Oh, yes, a great book that has come to us from the Boys Town Press. This is Navigating Your Child's Unique Mental and Physical Needs, A Parent's Guide to School Supports. So often you guys write in and ask us about, I'm going to the IEP and I don't know what to ask for and I don't know what question to ask and I don't know. It's here in this book. I want to say to you, this is written by Kate McGrady, who has a lot of letters after her name. Let's just say that. But it's a very comprehensive book. Let me just turn to a random page that I've not decided. This chapter is titled Before, During, and After Initial Treatment Planning. And I love when you get figures. It shows you tables and things. So this one says, figure 9, have I received, and it's got questions for you. Have I received prior written notice that the meeting will take place at least 10 days in advance? Great question. Have I received a copy of procedural safeguards? Great question, because they're in violation if they haven't given them to you. For review, any evaluations of my child that were completed by the school? Amen. The last one, consent to bring another party with me, if applicable, an advocate, a lawyer, or other professional. Okay, so that's have I received. Then it says, have I created a list of thoughts and questions I want to be sure are brought up during the meeting? A compilation of my notes, observations, concerns, strengths, personal get to know my child facts and ideas about what could possibly support them? And have I taken the time to ensure I am emotionally and mentally prepared for this meeting? Put together a meeting kit, including a notebook to record notes during this meeting and any upcoming meetings, observational notes by me and others, and any outside data that I deem useful to the team. Have I taken the time to complete the parent questionnaire and or paperwork sent to me from the team? What a great list. That alone is worth the book, right? But that's just a random page that I turned to. It's got all kinds of things in here, including a chapter on how to adapt to and embrace a diagnosis. It's a tough season for IEPs, you guys, and I just think this is a great resource, which is why it won our best book in the caregiver category. It's from Boys Town Press. You're going to want to have this. You need it this year more than anything. Okay, I think now, are we still in caregiver? No, we're in baby toddler. Okay, so we just have a couple in the baby toddler, and then we're going to be done. I know we're a little bit over here, but then we're going to be done. So from Igloo Books, this is the bedtime book. I think it's important. Now, couple of things with this. This book is rated 3 and up, but yes, it is the only thing that I put in the baby toddler category that is rated 3 and up, because there's an asterisk here. If you are reading the book with your baby toddler, and in the book it comes with stickers, these are the thing that are the choking hazard. If you remove those and keep those to the side while you're reading this with your baby toddler, then you're going to be fine. But I am telling you that it is a book to read to your baby toddler at bedtime. Now, people are going to say to me, but isn't the language a little bit older? Yeah, but you know what? I believe in giving, when you're reading books with babies and toddlers, giving them language, peppering in some language, because they're going to hear it. And that's important. But also the illustrations are lovely, and what they're talking about is very specific, and your baby toddler needs it. It's what happens when you're getting ready for bed, what the process of getting ready to bed is, and making it a pleasurable experience. When they're older, you can get the stickers out and be using the stickers when they go through the different stages of getting ready for bed. I think it's critical and important to be reading to your babies and toddlers. I can't get to the last page. There we are. Here we go. it's important to read to your baby and toddlers every night. It's important to read to your kids just every night. And pictures are a big part of that when they're babies and toddlers. But content is also important. And beginning the conversation about bedtime, even before the comprehension is there, is a good thing to do. It's never too early, because bedtime is critical. It's going to be critical for you. It's going to be critical for them. If we don't have sleep, what happens? They aren't available to learn like they could be if they haven't had sleep, and you aren't available to be there to support them. So I love this book. I think it's super important. Again, it's from Igloo Books. It got our best book in the baby toddler with the asterisk that is only meant to be read with them, not to be handed to them. Some board books you want to hand to them, not this one. Okay, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have one more toy in the baby toddler? Oh, no, we have two. Okay, I'm jumping ahead. That's all right. So this is the winner of the Dr. Doreen Award in the baby toddler category. This comes to us from our friends at Lakeshore. Have you been to Lakeshore? It's a teacher's secret, Lakeshore. Lakeshore is where they sell all of the amazing things that teachers have in their classroom that you're always like, where did they get that? That's Lakeshore, and you want to go there. You can look at them online and order online if you don't have one that's near you, but if you have one that's near you, go to that paradise and lose your mind. They make really high quality things. And so this is their calming cuddle bug. And I want to tell you what it's 12 month up, so that's very important, 12 months and up. But the reason why we loved this, and the reason why Dr. Doreen loved this, is because it's a very soft, inviting toy that's got different textures on his paws and his ears, but he's got these tubes that run up and down, and they are not connected, so you can get your hands in there, and this becomes one of the best breathing buddies. So if we're teaching a very young child how to begin to breathe to calm themselves for self-regulation, we sit and model maybe with a pillow for ourselves, and they get their cuddle bug and they put their hands in, and then we try to move our bellies. We lay down on the floor and try to move our bellies to get the bug to go up and go down, and this is how we begin to teach them slow breathing to calm themselves. Self-regulation is so important, and self-soothing is so important. And what this cuddle bug does is invites us, because he's so soft, and gives us a place. And by the way, hands can go in the back as well, so I can hug him this way. Truly wonderful. So this was our winner of the Ask Dr. Doreen Award. Gotta love that. So cuddle bug from Lakeshore. Okay, one more toy left in our Festival of Toys. This is a brilliant toy. This one, our top toy in the baby toddler category. So I want to show you how these come. Making lots of crinkly noises, driving Chris crazy. These are called feeding frenzies, excuse me. And so this is what they look like, and they just look ridiculous. They just look like, how in the world, why in the world? But this was invented by a mom, because when a child is feeding, we want them to be able to stay focused on the process of feeding, and sometimes that's hard, right? And so this fits onto the baby bottle, right? And as the baby is eating, they're making contact with this friend who is very gummy and weird, and if we shake the bottle even a little, he's waving at the baby. So this is the view that the baby gets, and it helps them orient their eyes to this, and helps with feeding issues. They're finding that this is really important for making sure that we're not taking in excessive air, making sure that they're eating properly and focusing their eyes in the proper place. So Feeding Frenzy won our top toy, invented by a mom. And there we go. So that is the last of our toys. It looks like Santa erupted here. But I hope you found something that you like. I'd love to hear from you if there's something that you particularly loved. And I want to share that We will be back on Tuesday, we believe, with Dr. Graham Pichet. But then next week we'll be rerunning these episodes during the Thanksgiving weekend. But I would love for you guys to take a minute and recognize anything in your life that you have to be thankful for. I hopefully, we'll get the opportunity to do this on Tuesday, but I am thankful for all of you. I'm thankful to have had the privilege of being able to be with you guys for now 15 years and sharing the tips and the tricks and the toys and the joy and the empathy, because you're going through stuff that everybody isn't going through. So I'm thankful for your friendship. I'm thankful for your viewership. Deeply thankful for my colleagues. So thankful for Chris Desmond. My goodness, we would not be able to do any of this without him. And thankful for my family and for our health, right? There's so many things to be thankful for. Are there other things for us to be irate and upset about? You betcha. You betcha. But I want to take some time this month and be grateful for the things that we've got, right? Because I find that's more mental health for me. I hope so for you as well. So we hopefully, fingers crossed, we see you on Tuesday. If for some reason we don't, happy Thanksgiving. Give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much. See you next time.